Near-fatal shooting, but he couldn't survive a second. Rap star Tupac Shakur died last night after a brief life in a rough business. He was 25.
We wanted $1 million.
Brought up the amount of $1 million.
Shit, he did.
Puffy did?
Yeah.
When Pac got murdered, showed us a check for $1 million and said he got it from Black Ground Records, Barry Hankerson, and Jimmy Henchman.
Family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the murder of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs.
Bad boys moving silent. Me, I drop $1 million on your head. Race you and your whole family.
On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. He succumbed to his injuries 6 days later. Following Tupac's death, theories and speculations ran rampant. One of the most chilling aspects involves Sean Diddy Combs. According to Keffe D, Diddy had offered him $1 million to kill Tupac and Suge Knight. In a meeting with Eric Von Zip, Keffe D claims they discussed the offer tied to Tupac's death. According to Keffe, Zip was the one who was supposed to collect the payment from Diddy after Tupac was killed in 1996.
You, Puffy, Zip, and a bunch of Southsiders. And what Puffy makes kind of an announcement?
Yeah, that was stupid as hell too, you know.
What did you actually hear? What was the words? The best you can remember what he says.
Shit, he said he'd give us anything for them dudes there, you know? Yeah.
He'll give you anything for these guys' head?
Yeah, he said it in front of all the people. I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
In Anaheim?
Yeah. Whole room full of Crips.
Eric Von Zip was a major figure in the criminal world, operating in New York's organized crime scene from the late 70s until his death in 2012. His influence reached beyond the streets, impacting the music industry and some of its most prominent figures. Despite his long history in the game, Zip was never incarcerated, making him a legend both in criminal circles and the music world. One of Von Zip's most important connections was with Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy often saw Zip as a mentor, even calling him uncle. Their bond wasn't just personal, it was strategic. Von Zip used his influence to connect Diddy with key figures, helping protect Bad Boy Records during its rise, especially in the 90s when the East Coast-West Coast rap feud was at its peak. It's said the Zip introduced Diddy to the Southside Crips, who provided protection during this heated time. Keffe D claims that Zip gave him the gun used to kill Tupac. While this points to Zip's alleged involvement in the logistics of the murder, many remain skeptical about the truth behind this claim. In his book, Compton Street Legend, and various interviews, Keffe D detailed his attempts to collect a $1 million payment from Diddy. He alleged that he directed Zip to collect this money shortly after Tupac was killed. However, when they met weeks later, Zip reportedly told Keffe that Diddy had not paid him yet, leading to further frustrations and accusations between them. Keffe noted that Zip had been avoiding him after the murder, which raised suspicions about whether Zip had kept the payment for himself. This financial angle plays a crucial role in understanding the dynamics between Keffe Zip and Diddy. The recording featuring Keffe details a phone call he allegedly received from Diddy and Faith Evans shortly after Tupac's shooting. In this conversation, they reportedly asked Keffe, "Was it us?" This evidence is now being used by prosecutors in an attempt to directly connect Diddy to Tupac's murder. If proven credible, this recording could offer a critical link, potentially reshaping public understanding of the events surrounding Tupac's death. According to Keffe D book, he describes an encounter with Foxy Brown and Von Zip in Las Vegas on the night of Tupac's shooting. He claims that as he approached Zip's car, he noticed Foxy Brown was in the passenger seat. Keffe D writes that Zip instructed Foxy to exit the vehicle and motioned for Keffe to get in the book. Keffe alleges that Zip then accessed a hidden compartment in the car and pulled out a .40 caliber Glock pistol. Zip reportedly handed the weapon to Keffe, saying, "It's time to get the money." Keffe claims he put the gun in his waistband, then held the car door open for Foxy Brown to re-enter before Zip drive away. However, it's important to note that Keffe attorney has since stated that his client lied about his entire involvement in Tupac's death to gain fame and make money. The veracity of these claims is now a key point of contention in the ongoing legal proceedings. Foxy Brown has not publicly commented extensively on Keffe claims regarding their encounter as detailed in his book. However, she is reportedly considered a key witness in the ongoing trial against Keffe D for Tupac Shakur's murder. Prosecutors are seeking her testimony to potentially corroborate or contradict Keffe assertions about their interactions on the night of the shooting. Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, has stirred significant public interest with his recent claims regarding Tupac Shakur's murder. In multiple interviews, Deal alleges he saw $1 million check, which he believes served as a bounty on Tupac's life. According to Deal, this check came from Jimmy Henchman and was routed through Eric Von Zip, who allegedly handed it over to the Southside Crips. Deal contends that this check was cleverly masked as a management fee tied to an artist named Tank under Blackground Records. He suggests that if investigators trace this check's origin, they might uncover links that implicate Diddy in a larger conspiracy regarding Tupac's murder. Deal also highlights that the FBI is closely examining financial records and connections between figures in the music industry from that era, indicating a serious investigation into these allegations. Deal suggests that Diddy often alludes to the figure of $1 million in his songs, which could point to deeper connections with the events surrounding Tupac's death. He implies that these references may serve as coded messages related to the alleged murder conspiracy. In the song Muscle Game, released in 2000, Diddy makes some threatening comments about dropping $1 million on someone's head and erasing their whole family. This has been interpreted by some as a reference to Tupac's murder.
Bad boys moving silent. Me, I drop $1 million on your head. Race you and your whole family.
On June 4th, 1996, Tupac releases Hit 'Em Up, a track so brutal that he practically turned the East Coast-West Coast rivalry into a real hell. Puff Daddy was not going to let that slide. Stop Yappin' was his answer, a track that wasn't just about protecting his crew, but about challenging everything Tupac stood for. Included on the mixtape, Bad Boy Mixtape Volume 4, Stop Yappin' wasn't just a standalone response. It was part of a broader strategy aimed at demonstrating the strength and dominance of the bad boy camp during one of the most intense periods in hip-hop history.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Give him a round of applause. The Academy Award goes to the actor, Tupac Shakur. Give him a round of applause. Bad boys moving silent. You dig? Tupac made a motherfucking record. This is my man. This is me. This is my crew. This is my company. And I loved it. I fucking loved it. Because it let me know the bitch she really was.
Round the way type shit. All of those hit words, you know, raps, all the mixtapes, y'all dropping, trying to get with me. Bring it live, worldwide fit. And all my homeboys like, yo, Puffy just did a show out here. I was like, how was it? It's like, good, we gave him love, we gave him this, we gave him that. He was talking all this unity shit. But then when they go home, they be popping shit. They made all these underground tapes dissing us.
Despite being one of the most prominent figures in the East Coast-West Coast feud, Tupac had plans to end the beef between the coasts before his death. Although much of his public persona was wrapped up in the rivalry, particularly due to his clashes with Biggie Smalls, Puff Daddy, and Bad Boy Records, behind the scenes, Tupac began taking steps toward reconciliation, especially after realizing the negative impact the feud was having on the hip-hop community. One of the most notable moves was his decision to squash the beef with Nas. After a tense confrontation at the 1996 MTV Video Music Awards, Tupac and Nas reportedly made peace. During this meeting, Has assured Tupac that he had no ill will towards him. In response, Tupac decided to remove the track Watch Ya Mouth, which contained disses aimed at Nas, from his upcoming album, The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory. This was a powerful gesture, symbolizing Pac's willingness to resolve conflicts and move beyond division.
Just to give you the ultimate gem, the song I did called Watch Your Mouth was one of the last songs Tupac ever recorded. And in that song, he dissed everybody. But when he came back from New York, the reason why we pulled it off of Machiavelli, because that was one of the songs that we was going through when we was looking for what we was looking for. And 100% he wanted to take that record. He wanted to take the record and take the disses off. He was pulling back his diss. He dissed Biggie and Nas. He was leaving that alone. So he's going to pull that off. Some of the other people he said on there, it was what it was.
Another indication of Pac's intentions came from his plans to leave Death Row Records. He was reportedly working on launching his own label, Machiavelli Records, and shifting his focus toward more positive and empowering projects. By distancing himself from the intense drama surrounding Death Row, Tupac likely aimed to transcend the coastal feud and unite the hip-hop community under a more progressive and productive vision. While Tupac's life was tragically cut short, these actions demonstrate that he had started to seek peace and move away from the violence that had defined much of his later years.
Attitudes have changed. It's not as safe as it used to be. Niggas got to think about their business steps, and that's what I wanted to happen. Now let's go to the table. Let's talk. Let's make peace. Let's work it out. Let's get a community the money.
We're working on a new project called One Nation. It's going to be an East Coast, West Coast collaboration.